Hello listeners and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. This week it's Team 1 and Team 1 is made up of me, George.
And I'm Nancy.
And I'm Kate.
This week the news as usual is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier for the 4th of April 2025. As usual, the news will be broken into two parts, and can I just remind you at this point, when you have listened to the whole recording, please post your wallet back to us from a post box and not the post office. And we'll now begin with the first of the stories in this week's Courier. The title of this first article is Mum's Leap of Faith as Thanks to Charity. And the person who's written this article is Michael Pringle. A Livingston woman is taking a leap of faith with a skydiving challenge to raise money for an independent charity that helps her family in its time of need. Jade Aitken, her baby boy, 8-month-old Louis Linus, struggled to poo at birth, and doctors at first wrongly dismissed his condition as common nappy rash. Louis' parents faced months of uncertainty, of worry, and a battle for answers as he struggled with his health and was left unable to pass stools for 10 challenging months. In December last year, following a distressing visit to A&E, scans revealed that Louis had chronic constipation, but the exact cause remained a mystery until his condition suddenly deteriorated. The baby boy was then transferred by an emergency ambulance to Edinburgh's Royal Hospital for Children. There he was diagnosed with a rare condition, and Jade, 25, was informed that he had been born without a functional anus. Unusually, Louis' case was even rarer, and he required immediate critical care, thrusting the family into an overwhelming, unfamiliar world. They were determined to remain close to Louis. A family friend was one of the nurses responsible for Louis' care and told the family about Ronald McDonald House, which is situated inside the hospital. When I first heard about Ronald McDonald House, I asked the nurse, "Whereabouts is it? How far away?" She replied, "It's on the 3rd floor." "I couldn't believe it," said Jade. Ronald McDonald House Charities UK operates 14 houses across England, Wales and Scotland, providing free home-away-from-home accommodation. They kept families together close to their children while they are in hospital and provide a place to sleep, cook and retain some sense of normal life. The 25-bedroomed Ronald McDonald House Edinburgh, on the top floor of the new Children's Hospital, provides accommodation free of charge. Last year it accommodated 577 people who stayed for an average of 13 nights. Having a place to stay within seconds of their son's bedside was a huge relief for Jade and his dad, especially compared to the alternative. This exhausting commute took almost 2 hours due to heavy traffic in the Edinburgh bypass. Without Ronald McDonald House, we were ready to sleep in chairs or cars just to stay close, Jay admits. We couldn't believe it, there was so much under one roof. Kitchen, washroom, facilities, it felt like someone understood exactly what we needed. Against the odds, Louis' recovery defied expectations. Despite initially preparing for a 4-week hospital stay, Louis was well enough to leave after 10 days. Learning quickly to manage his stoma bag, a daunting task even for adults, the family were allowed home sooner than anticipated. Even though we were offered a trial night at Ronald McDonald's house to see how he managed, his resilience amazed us, said Jade. Jade decided to give back and was jokingly challenged by Louis's dad to do a skydive. Jade took up the challenge and launched a fundraising page with an initial goal of £500, which was quickly smashed. Support flooded in from family, friends, former colleagues, raising an astonishing £4,000 within days and quickly surpassed the 5,000 mark. The fundraising speed was unprecedented, catching the eye of Ronald McDonald's community fundraiser Jane Powell, who suggested that they sponsor a room in honour of Louis's journey. Jade's incredible courage and generosity blew us away. Her skydive and extraordinary fundraising efforts meant families facing some of their hardest moments will have comfort and support when it matters most, said Jane. Fundraisers like Jade are the heartbeat of our charity, enabling us to continue providing a free home away from home for families across Scotland. With the skydive rapidly approaching, Jade admits she was both excited and nervous. She has drawn courage from a previous fundraising exploit. I remember standing at the edge of a bungee jump years ago, hesitant, and I jumped anyway. This time I'd have someone strapped to me, thank goodness, she joked. But every donation reminds me why I'm doing this, to help families facing challenges like ours. Ronald McDonald House was there when we needed them most. With another surgery ahead, the family knew their journey isn't over yet. In a message to other parents who may find themselves in a similar situation, she added, "If you ever have the chance to stay at Ronald McDonald House, take it. It means everything when your child needs you most." And to support Jade's skydive visit, go to www.justgiving.com/page/Jade-Aitken-1 to find out more. The charity can be visited on www.rmhc.org.uk.
Our second article is entitled Public Gyms Improve Health for Thousands and is written by Stuart Somerville. Thousands of people in West Lothian have seen their health and well-being improve in the last year thanks to public gyms, councillors have heard. For many, the first step has been a prescription of free membership at West Lothian's Excite gyms to help recuperate from injury or manage chronic conditions. More than half of those decided to stay on and take out membership, having realised how their lives have improved physically and socially. Councillors heard that research shows that gym membership at Excite gyms such as Craigswood and Craigshill have generated millions of pounds in social value in terms of reduced health and spending costs. In a presentation to the East Livingston and East Calder Local Area Committee, Craigswood staff presented evidence from those who had benefited from free membership prescribed by their doctor. One gym goer said, "Exercise helps me function better and it really lifts my mood. I no longer need medication to manage my anxiety." Victoria Finlay, the area manager of Craigswood, said Excite was created to provide inclusive and welcoming spaces for all age groups. It recently opened a coffee shop, which has helped turn the gym into a vibrant social hub for the community. Craigswood is also home to the Excite West Lothian Health and Wellbeing team, which Miss Finlay said does an incredible job in delivering preventative care and support services, making a real difference in the lives of our community. Lisa Hunter, the Health and Wellbeing Manager. Within Excite, we have 22,000 members. We have 2.6 million visits per year, and those are people who are taking proactive preventative measures to protect their health and well-being and reducing the risk of conditions such as cancer, stroke and heart attacks. The team works in partnership with West Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership, which finds health programmes such as weight management, mental health and those with musculoskeletal conditions. For a number of years, Excite Centres have also been the venue for an Ageing Well programme, which supports those in later life with physical activities and helps people stay socially connected. In 2023-24, West Lothian Leisure also collaborated successfully with organisations such as Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland, Parkinson's UK and Scottish Gymnastics with the Love to Move Dementia Support Programme, ensuring a broader reach for those who need support the most. Councillor Damien Doran-Timpson asked, how many referrals do you get from GPs? Miss Hunter said funding from West Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership gave Excite a target of supporting 2,100 people per year. Raising awareness within primary care staff helped Excite Centre beat that target this year with many more referrals. She added, what we do see is that we have an engagement rate of about 80%, and we are seeing that we have high referral rates for weight management, mental health and musculoskeletal conditions. More than half of referrals come from the poorest areas of the county. Recent research by Excite has shown that 64% of people who do complete programmes they've been referred to go on to take out gym membership. More than half of those are taken out the more affordable access memberships, which commercial gyms do not offer. Councillor Doran-Timpson said, there are some really positive numbers and outcomes there. Prevention is so important, and I think the whole medical world is going to move down that route. I'd just like to see more of that. As a charity, West Lothian Leisure, Excite, has delivered an impressive $14.4 million in social value through its services and programmes in 2023-24, creating healthier, happier and longer lives for communities in West Lothian. Announced in the charity's newly published 2023-24 annual review, this social value includes significant reductions in healthcare costs, including 105,444 saved through fewer GP visits, 154,768 in reduced psychotherapy costs, 22,221 saved in type 2 diabetes care, 809,228 in dementia care savings, 460 saved by preventing hip fractures, and 235,956 saved in coronary heart disease and stroke. Social value refers to the broader benefits that activity services or interventions create for individuals and communities, including improvements in physical and mental health, personal development, social well-being and connectivity. This data was collated through an inter gratis consulting social value analysis commissioned by West Lothian Leisure in May 2024. Ben Lamb, CEO of West Lothian Leisure, said, we are incredibly proud to deliver $14.4 million in social value, a testament to the dedication of our staff and volunteers and the ongoing support from our partners, including West Lothian Council. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent lives changed for the better. Every pound saved for the health service represents lives improved, health preserved and community strengthened. This is what our mission, creating health and happier and longer lives in West Lothian, is all about. We aim to continue growing participation and create opportunities for every West Lothian resident to enjoy the benefits of physical activity and well-being.
Review awards hefty pay rise to councillors by Stuart Somerville. Councillors in West Lothian have been awarded hefty pay rises of more than 20% following a review by the Scottish Government. Councillor leader Lawrence Fitzpatrick will see his salary rise to more than £50,000 a year following a review, while a basic salary for a councillor will rise 21% by £4,637 to almost £26,000 a year. The increase had been agreed following the first review of salaries since 2011. They are based on the recommendations of the Scottish Local Authority Remuneration Committee, the SLARC, which was commissioned in 2023 to look at how the role of councillors has changed and grown in recent years. SLARC said that the growth of social media means that councillors' workloads have increased significantly, and being a councillor should not be considered a full-time job. The Scottish Government says that the increases are also needed to attract a wide cross-section of the public to stand for public office. Pay for councillors has slipped significantly in the last 18 years compared to surging salary packets for MPs and MSPs. The leader of West Lothian Council told a meeting of this at their council executive this week. The SNP group leader called for senior councillors to have their work reviewed in the way any council employee earning the proposed salary of £37,000 would. Councillor Janet Campbell asked, how do we ensure that portfolio holders are carrying out the role properly and competently? Senior councillor remuneration here is stated at £37,059 for the year 2025 to 26. For any other person, including persons working for this council, who receive a salary of this magnitude, their competency would also definitely be taken into account, and they would have regular supervision to ensure that they are carrying out their role properly. She told the leader of the council, Councillor Lawrence Fitzpatrick, "It would appear you don't feel that this should happen in this case." Councillor Fitzpatrick responded, "From time to time, and it has happened in the past, if someone is considered not to be fully fulfilling that role prudently and adequately, then it is up to the council to remove that person." Councillor Campbell continued, "This is a concern that has been raised by numerous people within West Lothian, who, at the end of the day, pay council tax to West Lothian Council. So I think it's a fair and reasonable question to ask, how do we ensure that portfolio holders are carrying out their role competently and properly?" Councillor Fitzpatrick said, "No one's raised that issue with me, and I'm in regular contact with constituents through parent councils and community councils, etc. But remember that political scrutiny is through the PDSPS." Councillor Sally Patel, the Lib Dem for Linlithgow, told the meeting, "I think it's very uncomfortable to be discussing giving ourselves a pay rise when we know that cuts and the difficulties that service across the council have had. But I think also that for a very long time, putting yourselves forward to be a councillor has been almost the reserve of a select group of people, because the remuneration is just not there for the amount of extra responsibilities we take on within our communities since we have become elected members. The remuneration is probably still not what a lot of people would consider to be an average salary for that type of work that we undertake. I appreciate that it is difficult on paper, but I do think councillors deserve to be remunerated for roles and responsibilities that they carry out for their communities." In a short debate, Councillor Fitzpatrick told members of the executive that councillors' pay had been £15,400 in 2007. It will now rise to £25,982. In contrast, an MP's salary has risen from £60,675 to £93,904 in the same time, more than £33,000 more. An MSP's salary has risen 21,000 to more than 74,000 in the same time frame. While the basic salary rise amounts to a 21% increase, the £7,365 rise in the council leader's pay will take Councillor Fitzpatrick's salary from £42,698 to £50,063. This represents a 17% increase. Labour's Tom Conn said, "I think it's unfortunate that Councillor Campbell focuses on the pay of councillors." He suggested that she had diminished the wider investigation of the pay review by SLARC. Linlithgow SNP councillor Pauline Orr said, "If you work in a bank or any other organisation, there is an expectation that you have an annual review, etc., so that where you can pick up what you're doing well and what you're not doing well. That is the point of being transparent to the public."
Grandad takes on gruelling bike challenge. An article by Jacob Farr. A West Lothian grandad is due to undertake a gruelling 24-hour cycle across the Central Belt to raise money for vulnerable Kenyan Maasai schoolgirls. A West Lothian grandad is due to undertake this gruelling 24-hour cycle across the Central Belt in the next few weeks. Peter Wright, who's 77, will cycle from his town of Linlithgow to the outskirts of Edinburgh before doubling back and heading towards Glasgow and Dumbarton and then back home in the 200-kilometre trip. He hopes to raise £1,500 for the education of the Maasai girls. Peter is the General Secretary of the Joseph Thomson Maasai Trust and a descendant of Joseph Thomson. The retired youth worker described his ancestor as being one of the few well-respected colonial African explorers. Grandfather of 7, Peter, said he was captured by the work of the Maasai Trust in giving young girls a route out of living in poverty. Not only this, he argues an education allows young girls to escape futures which could see them to be victims of education and allowing girls to escape from becoming victims of female genital mutilation, FGM, and to forced marriages to village elders. The main project I am involved in is the Maasai Girls Education Project, he said. We contacted a Maasai elder, Ezekiel, to ask how we could help, and he asked for a fund to support the girls and the young women throughout secondary and higher education. This is something we have been doing over the last 7 years or so. The testimonials from the girls are already helping in ways that show personal development and helping them with difficulties. Access to education is transformational, and without it, we know that what their fate could be. Their fate could involve, at the age of 14, having FGM inflicted on them and married off to some old guy who probably has 2 or 3 wives. They would live a life of poverty. Education takes them away from that destiny. One of the great things to me is that we do not come up against the idea as often as the case with well-intentioned third world aid, but instead asked what they needed. We feel it is very ethical. No funding is issued on paying admin fees for a third party. The money goes directly to the Maasai community. Peter described meeting the Maasai elder Ezekiel and being motivated by him, explaining how these young people are going to have a future. He said that it lit a fire in him and motivated him to undertake his 24-hour cycling challenge. He will start his cycle at the Canal Basin in Linlithgow and will head eastwards to the Almond Aqueduct. From there he will go back through Linlithgow by way of the Falkirk Wheel into Glasgow and as far as Dumbarton before heading back home. I find it very, very rewarding at my age to be able to do something that is useful to other people and is going to achieve something which has a future ahead of it, he continued. If you think of a girl starting secondary school now in Kenya, she will have 4 years and then go into university for another 4, taking us to 2030 plus. I don't know whether I'll be around then, but it is wonderful to have a legacy. Within my youth work background, I had a big level of commitment to equality and creating equal opportunities for disadvantaged young people. I'm motivated to do something about the education of the Maasai girls, both to raise the profile of the benefits of education, but also to do something very practical. I'm not wealthy, but I can do something physical and demanding and hope to inspire people to donate. I'll be taking a measured approach to it and not going at it like a madman, and I'll be supporting those other members of the charity. 15 years ago, I had major heart surgery, a quintuple heart bypass, but I made a perfect recovery. It does stick at the back of my mind, but I don't have to have any major fears. My family have been so supportive, but they also think I'm a bit daft doing this sort of thing at my age. They're normally saying, "What's it up to this year?" People will set off for the challenge on April the 25th, one day after he turns 78. You can learn more about the Joseph Thomson Maasai Trust by visiting their website at https://www.josephthomsonmaasaitrust.co.uk/.
Berlin to Bathgate for kebab pie treat. Michael makes epic trip to taste bog hall speciality. This article is written by Michael Pringle. Food lovers travelled all the way from Berlin to Bathgate to sink his teeth into an award-winning butcher's speciality pie. Michael Hunter travelled from Germany's capital city via Prague, Leicester and Newcastle to try out Boghall Butcher's kebab pie. Michael, who had travelled with a friend, is no stranger to kebab meat, as there are over 1,000 kebab shops in Berlin. In fact, 2 Turkish men both lay claim to being the original creator of the doner kebab in Germany. The butcher's shop is owned by Paul and Christine Boyle and have revealed that Michael wasn't the only visitor from afar over the weekend looking to get their teeth into the champion pie. Paul said, "We were visited by a lovely lady who travelled all the way from Essex to try our supreme champion kebab pie, and we thought that couldn't be beat. Then in popped Michael and his friends, all the way from Berlin. They came in on Saturday afternoon and they had a pie right away, and then took some with them. They were very impressed with them. They were desperate to get a taste. They wanted to see how we'd moved it from a traditional kebab and make a pie out of it, although they did tell me that a kebab pie had originated in Dusseldorf. They went away delighted and got some photographs with the trophy and stuff, and we were really pleased to welcome them. They had travelled to Prague and from there to Leicester. Then next stop was Newcastle before arriving up here for a kebab pie. I think they were looking for variations of their own regional menus. Michael later posted a comment that suggests he enjoyed the pie so much that he will be returning to Bathgate for more. It read, "From Berlin to Bathgate, just to try your kebab pie. It was great. Thank you and see you next year." The West Lothian butcher shop, situated in the town's Margaret Avenue, claimed the Pie of Pies title at the 2025 British Pie Awards in Leicestershire recently for its kebab pie. The pie, made from chicken, beef and a chilli marinade with a sweet chilli sauce, beat 900 other entries from across the UK to take the top spot with the judges. One senior judge described the seasoned meat delicacy as definitely having the wow factor. Paul and Christine have now been invited to Japan to showcase the winning pie as part of the British Food Week in October.
Solar and Wind Power, Future in Winchborough by Ross Thompson. Scotland's fastest growing town has furthered its commitment to sustainable living with its community growing group welcoming renewable energy for the 2025 season, with its hundreds of residents set to benefit. Winchborough Community Growing Group, which is based within the 85-acre Auld Cathy District Park in West Lothian, has installed a wind turbine and 4 solar panels to provide constant power 24/7 to its 1.5 growing area throughout a partnership with Winchborough Community Development Trust. This will enable a significant number of local groups to reap the benefits of engaging with nature. Sustainability is the common thread that runs throughout everything the Community Growing Group does, explained co-chair John West. Having renewable energy will be a complete game changer for us, enabling our volunteers to provide more opportunities for the local community. It will power the irrigation system and pump water into all our polytunnels automatically, which means our crops will be able to thrive. Our community cabin, which will now have power, is already incredibly well used by a wide variety of groups which benefit people from all walks of life, from nursery-age children right up to adults who are perhaps at risk of social isolation or struggling with their mental health. At its core, the growing group is about bringing the community together, and getting this up and running has been a real group effort. We'd like to say a huge thank you to Winchborough Development Community Trust, our dedicated volunteers, including Stephen Kavanagh, who has worked tirelessly to research the kit, and Ace Electrical for their support, and to Penny from Winchborough Developments, who has helped drive the delivery of this and brought Lee and myself together to discuss the partnership. Lee Lauder, Development Manager for Winchborough Community Development Trust, added, "We are delighted to work in partnership with the growers to help us to be able to deliver a builder's den for the men in Winchborough, and are very pleased that our funding has helped with the installation of the renewable energy. We very much look forward to launching the project this spring with John and his team." The 85-acre Auld Cathy District Park was formed as part of the 8 million regeneration project by Winchborough Developments Limited, with input from the local community to transform it into a multi-use space for people of all ages and abilities to enjoy. It now features more than 31,000 newly planted trees, running, walking and cycling loops, a bike track, extensive play areas and the popular community growing area. The group welcomes volunteers every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. who want to take part in the community growing, while making friendships and enjoying the beautiful green space. Penny Lochhead, Community Engagement Green Space and Support Manager for Winchborough, said, "It is very exciting to see the growers become fully sustainable. The new irrigation system will operate across the summer months, which will significantly increase the vegetable growing capacity made possible by free energy from the turbine and solar panels. Importantly, they will also be able to have the kettle on for their hard-working volunteers. Exciting times are ahead for the grower group. They are an inspiration to everyone. Winchborough Developments are proud to be their partner, and we will continue to support them with their endeavours throughout the year.
Ross Thompson's next article is entitled Cara is Boxing Clever. She may be just 15 years old, but Broxburn schoolgirl Cara Young is already taking the boxing world by storm. The 2 times Scottish champion, British champion and William Wallace Box Cup winner became Scotland's first ever winner at the 2024 EUBC European Schools Championship in Bosnia last year, and now she has her sights set on the international title, something she is one step closer to clinching thanks to the generous support of the local business Workflow Solutions. Having just returned from competing in the world's largest female boxing tournament, the Golden Girl Championship in Sweden, Cara received the news that Workflow Solutions would fund her travel expenses and training equipment. Commenting on what a positive impact this sponsorship will have on her sporting career, Cara said, "This sponsorship gives me the opportunity to travel to international tournaments with my club that I wouldn't be able to attend without this support. I'll also be helped to access additional support such as physio, nutritionists, and allow me to have the best equipment." Cara's commitment to reaching international heights is clear. As well as attending school full-time, Cara trains 6 days a week at Broxburn Boxing Club and Boxing Scotland. She also attends strength and conditioning classes, runs, swims, and follows a special tailored nutritional plan. Workflow Solutions Managing Director Michael Field believes Cara has got what it takes to compete and to win at an international level. A keen boxer himself, Michael said, "Here at Workflow Solutions, we are known for transforming businesses, but our company ethos is to go beyond our services to make a positive difference to individuals and local communities. One purposeful connection at a time. We have been so impressed by Cara's talent and dedication to her sport, and we're proud to lend her our support to help her reach her international goals." This sports sponsorship deal is just the latest in a series of social impact projects actively supported by Workflow Solutions. From local community initiatives to national charity campaigns, the award-winning managed service provider is proud to contribute to causes that align with their core company values of openness, inclusivity, fairness and justice.
Cops warn of parking problems, an article by Stuart Somerville. Police have warned there is only so much they can do to enforce parking in a West Lothian town plagued by problems. Their area only 400 parking spaces in the Lithgow town centre, and the town's local area committee accepted there would never be enough room to serve the number of visitors. And even with broad agreement that the police and council should work together until the council takes over parking fines, there's no promise of a quick fix when it does. Sergeant Lee Brodie said while 9 fixed penalty notices had been issued in the last 3 months of last year, the numbers issued since the new year so far were into double digits, given blitzes on Blackness Road and the town centre. Police also cracked down on bad driving in the early winter months and issued 15 fixed penalty notices for careless driving in the last 3 months of the year, a 200% increase on the same period in 2023. But it was clear from opening remarks made by Chair of the Committee, Lib Dem Sally Patel, that there was an underlying tension on the subject when she called for a more cooperative approach between the Council and Police Scotland and with less criticism of the police. Labour's Tom Conn, who had at the last meeting passed on photographs to the police of illegal parking around Linlithgow Cross, said, "I totally understand where police activities need to be, but equally, to put it into context, the reason I have been persistent on the parking issues is because that's what constituents are saying to me, that we need to do something. At the moment, because we don't have decriminalised parking enforcement, so it is a police responsibility. I accept that the situation, I would like to see that change come quicker." Sergeant Brodie pointed out that he and his officers had to prioritise their activities. Sergeant Brodie said he had checked on parking space when website Parkopedia, which identifies 400 spaces in the centre of Linlithgow. This had to be compared to the absolutely huge footprint of businesses in the town. He added, whilst it is unacceptable, the reality is there are a lot of attractions and only 400 spaces. People are probably going to park in ways they should not. I put a £30 ticket on one of the most expensive cars I've ever seen. I'm not really sure that a £30 ticket is going to have a massive impact on that individual. We use the powers we can, where we can, but I think we have to accept that it's an ongoing problem. We can take as much enforcement activity as we like, but there's only so much impact that it's going to be able to have. There's only so much enforcement we can carry out. Councillor Conn said he welcomed the news and the report about the increased police activity. He said, "The things you have detailed in your paper is what I want the public to know, that you're there, that you are doing that. I welcome the progress we have made. I don't want to criticise, but there's a situation where because residents have given photographs, etc., they don't see an improvement, so they think nobody's doing anything, when actually the truth is opposite, that things are happening, but it's not up front in your face every day. I do welcome what you have been reporting." Councillor Conn said the most effective deterrent was that people did not know if a police officer was going to come around the corner when they parked the car. He highlighted that, as in the past, if people knew the police were going to patrol the high street, they'd park elsewhere. Councillor Patel said that the council had been looking at ways to prevent parking at the cross and also looking at ways of stopping taxis using the double yellow lines at the cross as an official taxi rank. Photos of both illegal parking had been passed to the police at the last meeting. She added, "It's the people who park their car illegally. They're the ones breaking the law. We need to do something to change that mindset."
Big Kid Entertainment shared details of circus training plan with community by Michael Pringle. Residents in East Calder are being invited along to look at updated plans for a circus training and community space in the village. Big Kid Entertainment has extended the invite to everyone living locally to come along to the Dave King Partnership Centre on Wednesday, May the 14th, and see their enhanced proposals for the site of the former Oakbank Oil Works, which were demolished in 1932. The second community event to be held, it has been rescheduled from April the 3rd. The change of date for the second event follows valuable feedback received from the local community during the first event. Since then, the project team has been refining the proposals, and the additional time will help ensure that revised plans reflect community input. If approved, the base on the village's Oakbank Road will serve as a double-height training and community space with associated ancillary uses. It will also provide storage for service vehicle and equipment. The proposals also include a nature trail and enhanced biodiversity. On-site residence for grounds maintenance staff are incorporated in the plans, as is an area for temporary caravan parking and car parking. Operating under the Big Kid Circus brand, the location has been selected for its proximity to Edinburgh Airport and major road links, making an ideal base. It is not proposed that the ticketed circus performances will be held at this site. The site has not been in formal use for some time, and should the development progress, will be revitalising Big Kid Entertainment say this site will further enhance West Lothian's arts and culture offered and complement other nearby attractions such as Jupiter Artland. Big Kid Circus is Scotland's leading circus act, established in 2005. The circus attracts over 30 performers from around the world, including Europe, Asia, Africa, Central America and South America. In 2024 alone, the team appeared at 18 locations across Scotland, including Edinburgh, Glasgow and Falkirk. Julian Kirkova, events manager at the Big Kids Entertainment, said, "We really enjoy speaking with the local people at our first consultation and are looking forward to returning in May. Our proposals represent our commitment to Scotland. Over the years, we have called it home, and we now have the chance to set down roots and further develop our relationships with the local community. The views of local people are important to us, and we are proactively engaging with stakeholders to involve them in our plans. We look forward to welcoming people to our next event and, importantly, capturing their feedback as we refine proposals ahead of the planned submission to West Lothian Council later this year. The event on May the 14th is open to all from the community and will take place from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Dave King Partnership Centre, 139 Main Street, East Calder. A web page is available at www.bigkidcircus.co.uk.
We're going to have this week's announcements, all of which are deaths, and the following are the three that are recorded in the Courier this week. Alice McGinley from Whitburn, peacefully at Red Mill Care Home, East Whitburn, on the 22nd of March 2025. Alice, aged 84 years, beloved wife of the late William, much loved mum, gran, sister and sister-in-law of the family, sadly missed by all. Alan Scully, born on the 1st of February 1948, died on the 30th of March 2025 from Bathgate, much loved father, grandfather and great-grandfather. Mary Shanks, née Crooks, Linlithgow, formerly Partley Place Farm, peacefully at Black Falls Nursing Home on Tuesday, March the 25th, 2025. Mary, aged 101 years, beloved wife of the late James, dearly loved mother of Margaret, Jim, Ian and Robert, and a much-loved grandmother and great-grandmother. And now we return to articles from the Courier. And the first one by Stuart Somerville. Whisky shop granted licence to open up business. A bespoke whisky business has been awarded a licence in the heart of a busy West Lothian town, popular with visitors. West Lothian Licensing Board agreed to award a premises licence to the Wee Whisky Shop in Linlithgow High Street, run by Andrew Ewer. Gordon Esley, an agent for the applicant, told councillors, "My client took on the lease of the property last year with the intention of opening a premium whisky shop. The shop offers a range of specialised and bespoke whiskies and other premium spirits targeted on the whisky connoisseur and tourist market. The on-sales area will be utilised for whisky tasting sessions and a small whisky-themed event. Mr. Eshley added, "My clients currently run the Muir Avonside Cafe in Falkirk, and they also run the Cafe Zetland Park in Grangemouth. They also manage a number of outdoor licence events throughout the year, and the whisky shop is a crucial part of their plan to expand their overall business. Since December, my clients have been operating under occasional licences, and we are grateful to the board for their permission to enable this to happen. This has also allowed them to extend their whisky offering. The next step will be launching an online whisky auction in the coming months."
Raise a cuppa and support Guide Dogs Coffee Morning, an article by Michael Pringle. The Guide Dogs West Lothian fundraising group is holding its annual coffee morning during April. The Make Every Cuppa Count event is again being hosted by Chain Runner, the hotel and restaurant in Livingston. A special day is in store as two visitors from the event's demonstration team, Mark Richards and his dog Lainey, will deliver a programme of creative demonstrations that have engaged and inspired audiences across the UK. The event's demonstration team attend flagship and high-profile events such as Crufts, Goodwood and National Corporate Partnership Days. Chris Collier, Group Coordinator of West Lothian Fundraising Group, said there will be a demonstration show at the event with a guide dog who can do a lot of fantastic stuff. It's an enormous coup for us too, and it's great for Scotland. There's a waiting list for a guide dog. You don't just get one instantly. It costs over £50,000 to train a dog from the beginning, and the dogs need to have certain characteristics. The most common dogs used are Labrador Retriever Cross because their characteristics are most suitable. So they are the dogs we want to get out there and get trained. The scientific part is amazing. Once they get a suitable dog, what they call a brood bitch, they match them up with the male and they have 6 or 7 litters. It's such an expensive process, they can't really afford to get it wrong. All of the money is generated by a fundraiser. It doesn't come from the government. There will also be a merchandise on sale at the event, as well as tickets for its ever-popular tombola. There's 400 fundraising groups across the UK, and Make Every Cuppa Count Day gives us the opportunity to target people and invite them to join us and become volunteers, as well as generating more interest in the guide dogs. If people see a guide dog, they know someone is visually impaired, Chris continued. If they see a puppy with a harness, they know it's training. But there's so much more. We'll be sharing information on other services we provide. You can get an understanding of the services available to people with a visual impairment. There will be a puppy in training and a couple of guide dogs they can meet along with their owners. We will be here from 10 till 12 at Chain Runner, who have been fabulous supporters. You can have a tea or coffee with a bit of cake and have chat with the volunteers. There's children's services too. More information on Guide Dogs West Lothian fundraising group is available on the Facebook page. The coffee morning will take place on Friday, April 11th, 10 a.m. until noon at Chain Runner, Amundvale, Livingston.
Go Ahead Given for New Facility by Michael Pringle. The Scottish Government has given the green light for the construction of a battery storage facility in West Lothian that could power around 240,000 homes during peak consumption times. A 200-megawatt facility on an industrial estate near Bathgate, the project is expected to support around 80 jobs in the local community during construction. Proposals for this facility were submitted last year and planning consent has been granted by the Scottish Government's Energy Consents Unit, ECU. When fully charged, the 2-hectare site will have the capacity to meet peak electricity demands for approximately 240,000 homes and for 2 hours of sustain the average energy needs of around 600,000 houses over the same period. Developed by one of the UK's leading onshore renewable developers, OnPath Energy, the state-of-the-art facility will be located on Pond Industrial Estate at Whitburn Road near Bathgate. Pond's Flexible Energy Park will play a vital role in Scotland's journey towards its 2040 net zero goals by storing renewable energy when consumption demand is low and releasing it back to the national grid when demand is high. The facility will help balance the grid as well as maximising the use of renewables energy sources, helping reduce reliance on imported fossil fuels. Michael Newton, Sustainable Development at OnPath Energy, said, "Battery storage sites such as Pond are going to have a huge role to play in achieving net zero. Not only that, but beyond its environmental impact, Pond will deliver significant social and economic benefits to the local community. During construction, the project will support around 80 jobs, putting more than 1.6 million into the pockets of local workers, benefiting the local community enormously. Once up and running, it will contribute over £1 million in community benefits over the lifetime of the project. We're incredibly pleased that we are now at the stage where the site has been consented and we look ahead to the construction phase of the project. The development marks a significant step forward for OnPath Energy as the business works towards its objective of becoming the UK's leading land-based renewable energy developer. The local community can expect to see real benefits delivered as a result of OnPath's commitment to prioritising local contractors where possible, and the community benefit proposal will see over £1 million made available for community-led investment over the project lifetime. OnPath Energy has a long history of successful renewable energy projects, having secured planning permission for 16 wind farms across the UK. 3 are currently in operation across Scotland, with 1 in development, 1 under construction, and another 2 renewable energy projects set to start construction in the next 3 years, further reinforcing its leadership in the onshore renewable sector. Michael Newton added, "Working closely with communities is at the heart of what we do. It's something our team is incredibly passionate about doing the right way. As we move forward with this project, we'll make sure the community stays well informed and involved every step of the way. It's vital that we continue to build upon the strong relationship with everyone who will benefit from this exciting new facility. For more information on Pond, visit http://www.onpathenergy.com/pond. For more information on the company, visit www.onpathenergy.com.
The next article isn't attributed to anyone, and it's headed, however, Poynton wants action on off-road bike use. Livingston's MP is taking action aimed at driving down the problems caused by off-road motorbikes used in the constituency. Gregor Poynton MP is launching a community survey to gather residents' views from across West Lothian. The survey, which is now live on the Labour politician's Facebook page, comes after he received a surge in complaints from constituents about the impact of dirt bikes and quads which are being used on public footpaths and roads. Gregor said, "I'm hearing from growing numbers of people who are facing problems with off-road bikes in their towns and villages. In some cases, bikers are just a noisy nuisance, but in others, the reckless use of them is damaging property and even putting lives at risk. Often young people are riding the bikes underage, illegally, in pedestrian areas without any consideration for the safety of those around them. When parents with pushchairs are on the pavements, they are affected. People out shopping or other commuting to and from work shouldn't be forced to take cover because of dirt bikes coming flying through a venal or across a playing field. It needs to stop. Police Scotland and the Council are already putting a great deal of time and effort and resources into tackling the issue, but I want to help gather as much information as possible to aid their work. I want to find the hot spots for the trouble and determine the biggest headaches facing constituents. I'd also urge residents to help us in dealing with the bikes. If people are out there and know who is responsible for the misuse of them on their estate or in their village, they should speak out. They can contact the police on 101 or speak anonymously on Crime Stoppers at 0800 555 111. Hopefully, if we all work together, we'll be able to make sure any off-road bikes in the local area are used legally, responsibly, and at appropriate times and in appropriate locations. You can find the online survey at www.facebook.com/Gregor Poynton Labour, or by contacting his office directly via email at gregor.poynton.mp@parliament.uk or call 01506 243 507.
Murray on Run to Help Families, an article written by Nicholas Malizia. A West Lothian man is lacing up his shoes and undertaking a massive physical challenge to help families facing devastating news. Murray Gourdy, a music instructor who has worked for West Lothian Council for the past 33 years, is running the London Marathon for a children's cancer charity. He is taking on the 26-mile race in April for the first time at the age of 56 to raise money for Children with Cancer UK. He spoke about his journey with the challenge, saying, "Next month at the age of 56, I will lace up my running shoes, pin on my race bib and run 26.2 miles in my first ever marathon. Along with personalities like Paula Radcliffe, I am running the 2025 London Marathon to raise funds for Children with Cancer UK, a charity with a vision of a world where every child and young person survives cancer. Every day, families receive the devastating news that their child has cancer, but together we can make a difference. I'm raising funds to help provide life-saving treatment, emotional support and vital research to give these children a fighting chance. I'd be incredibly grateful if you would consider sponsoring me in this event. Every donation, no matter how big or small, will have an impact. Murray will be one of more than 56,000 runners set to complete the 26.2 miles on Sunday, April 27th. You can donate to Murray's Epic Challenge by logging on to https://2025 TCS London Marathon. enthuse.com/pf/Ray-Murray Gourdy.
Cops race to Rammy at house, Cara Blackhall. Police swooped on a West Lothian neighbourhood after a disturbance in a property. Officer raced to Mosside Road area of Blackburn at 2:55 p.m. on March the 29th. In footage seen by Edinburgh Live, a large emergency response was at the scene. There was no wider risk to public. Officers quickly attended and a 39-year-old man was arrested and charged in connection. He is due to appear at court at a later date. A report is to be sent to the Procurator Fiscal. A Police Scotland spokesperson said, at 2:55 p.m. on Wednesday, March the 26th, we received a report of disturbance in a property in the Mosside Road area of Blackburn, West Lothian. Officers attended and a 39-year-old man was arrested and charged in connection. He is due to appear at court at a later date. There was no risk to the wider public. A report will be sent to the Procurator Fiscal.
Livy celebrates first silverware in 10 years. Livingston roared to victory in SPFL Challenge Cup final, dispatching Queen Park 5-0 to seal their first silverware in a decade. Livy last lifted the trophy in 2015 and turned the showpiece into a demolition as 5 different scorers put their fellow championship side to the sword. Robbie Muirhead lashed home a powerful finish in the 26th minute and the rout was set in motion. David Markendale, side by side, doubled up the lead just before half-time through Stevie May. Tek Yangi effectively settled matters when he grabbed the third 5 minutes into the second period. Andrew Shiney netted a fourth before Jamie Brandon capped things off in the stoppage time. Our team were on hand to capture Livy's fans celebrating the moment of triumph. And the moment of triumph was celebrated in the Courier with 12 bright, colourful pictures of players, staff, and of course the fans. Many pictures of the fans in the stands. The stands were packed and everybody seemed delighted.
New scheme for bus company. Transport operator Lothian marked the end of Scottish Apprenticeship Week by announcing its highly regarded engineering apprenticeship scheme is now open to applicants. The award-winning Public Transport Operators Apprentice programme lasts 4 years and provides participants with an SCQF in either heavy goods and public service vehicle maintenance and repair or vehicle body repair and alignment. Trainee engineers will be supported through their apprenticeship by the company's dedicated training and apprenticeship manager and wider engineering management team within Lothian's garages to develop their practical skills through an on-the-job training. The hands-on training is complemented by classroom-based learning in partnership with GTG Training at their modern purpose-built training centre at Newbridge. Dylan Isaac, second-year apprentice engineer at Lothian, said, "During my training so far, I have gained a lot of new skills and invaluable experience from my colleagues. The on-the-job training is extremely rewarding. I've learned a lot about myself during my time at Lothian so far and developed a resiliency and perseverance when taking on new tasks. I would definitely recommend the Lothian Apprenticeship Scheme to anyone looking for a new career in engineering." Dylan Dasty, Chief Engineer for Lothian, said, "At Lothian, we understand the importance of developing and shaping the technical skills required within our industry. Through our continued investment and commitment to training our own technicians who are skilled in both current and advancing technologies, we are safeguarding the future of our business for years to come."
Companies Vital Work backed by MP Sullivan. Bathgate and Linlithgow MP Kirsten Sullivan visited Sybil Training in Blackridge to see firsthand the organisation's vital work in training and skills development. During the visit, Miss Sullivan met with John Sibbald and his team toured the facilities and discussed the challenges facing the industry, including skills shortages and funding concerns. Following the visit, Ms Sullivan said, "I was impressed by the scale and quality of training provided at Civil Training. They play a crucial role in equipping people with the skills they need to thrive in today's workforce while making a significant contribution to our local and regional economy." The dedication and expertise of the staff were evident throughout my visit. However, businesses are deeply worried about the impact of skills shortages. Without action, contracts will be lost, jobs will disappear, and young people will be left without opportunities. We need urgent investment in skills development to ensure we have a workforce ready to meet industry demands. John Sibbald, Director of Civil Training, welcomed the visit. He added, "We are delighted to welcome Kirsten Sullivan to Sibbald Park and have the opportunity to raise not only the business challenges we face, but also broader industry concerns such as funding and skills shortages, issues that impact our customers every single day." Ms Sullivan reaffirmed her commitment to supporting investment in skills and training, recognising its crucial role in strengthening the workforce, boosting employment opportunities and ensuring long-term economic prosperity. Civil Training is a leading provider of plant, construction and safety training in Scotland. With centres in West Lothian and Aberdeenshire, as well as nationwide training options, Civil trainers deliver over 200 accredited courses tailored to a wide range of industries, including construction, utilities, engineering, logistics and manufacturing.
And an attributed article, Housing Plans Get Go-Ahead. Councillors have agreed design details for new housing to be on the edge of East Calder almost 4 years after they rejected the plans. West Lothian Council Development Management Committee agreed proposals by Miller Homes for 90 new homes on open fields near Hog Hill Farm. The Scottish Government's Division of Environmental and Planning Appeals reporter approved the development in early January 2023. The almost 20-acre plot sits on open farmland north of Hog Hill Farm, bordering an Oakbank Road, East Calder, and initial application received had been for 100 houses. These mainly consisted of complaints about the infrastructure and impact, including East Calder's health centre. Council Officer Andrew Cotton told councillors that issues surrounding the medical centre, which is in a poor state of repair and now has a patient list more than double what it was built for, could not be addressed as part of the consideration of the planning application. Miller Homes produced amended plans seeking approval in detail for 86 houses and 4 flats on the site. In a report to committee, planning officer said, "Planning permission in principle for the development of this site was refused by the West Lothian Planning Committee on the 16th of the 12th, 2021. This decision was appealed to the Planning and Environmental Appeals Division and was subsequently approved on the 5th of January 2023. The principle of developing the land for residential purposes has therefore been established, and it is the layout, design and compliance with technical requirements for the site which is now under consideration. While the concerns of the objectors are noted and understood, the principle of the development cannot be reconsidered. It is the design, layout and matter specific to the development which now must be considered."
MSP's apprenticeship praise, Michael Pringle. Almost 1,300 apprentices in West Lothian are learning the skills required in a host of trades. Amman Valley MSP Angela Constance is highlighting the Scottish Government's commitment to apprenticeships. Recent figures reveal that 1,286 apprenticeships were training in West Lothian at the end of last year. This has helped contribute to a total of 39,589 modern apprenticeships across Scotland during the same period. The MSP, who is Scotland's Cabinet Secretary for Justice and Home Affairs, insists the numbers underscore the Scottish Government's dedication to enhancing modern apprenticeships, providing valuable opportunities for individuals in West Lothian to develop essential skills and pursue rewarding careers. The Scottish Government's recently approved budget allocated £100 million for modern and foundation apprenticeships in the 2025-26 financial year, further expanding opportunities for individuals in West Lothian. Angela Constance, MSP, said, "I am delighted to see that 1,286 apprentices are currently training under the Modern Apprenticeship Scheme in West Lothian. Apprenticeships offer invaluable opportunities for our young people to develop essential skills and pave the way for rewarding careers. The Scottish Government's dedication to apprenticeships is evident, with record numbers of young people securing places on these schemes. The recent budget allocation of £100 million for modern apprenticeships demonstrate our ongoing commitment to supporting our workforce and economy."
Zoo in possum rescue. 6 sugar glider possums have been rescued after cruelly abandoned outside a Lidl supermarket in West Lothian. Five Sisters Zoo received an urgent call from Police Scotland and the Scottish SPCA regarding the incident earlier this month. The 6 sugar gliders were found discarded inside a box outside the supermarket in what the rehabilitation team have described as a shocking case of animal abandonment. A spokesperson at the zoo said, "While the zoo cannot accommodate every animal in need, we remain committed to our rescue efforts and are always eager to help where possible." The sugar gliders, which are yet to be named, are now undergoing a 30-day quarantine period under the care of the zoo, which is based in West Calder. A team member said, "During this time, our dedicated animal care team is closely assessing their health and behaviour to ensure that they receive the attention and support they need to recover." The zoo will provide regular updates on the gliders' progress via social media, offering the public a glimpse into their rehabilitation journey. Stay tuned, learn more about the rescue, and when you can, meet these resilient little survivors. Five Sisters Zoo has provided a forever home to many rescued animals over the years, including bears and lions saved from travelling circuses, roadside restaurants, and even war zones. Sugar gliders are palm-sized possums who have mostly grey fur, white underbellies, and their heads have black stripes. They are common tree-dwelling and nocturnal marsupials, native to the tropical and cool temperate forests in Australia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, explains National Geographic. They have wings which are made from a thin stretch between their 5th and 4th finger and back ankles, and they use their tails as rudders to soar through the air. The SSPCA has been contacted for comment.
Well, we have now come to the end of this week's recording, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to return your wallet. So, it's goodbye from the members of the team, Paul, our engineer, from me, George,
Nancy,
and Kate.
And we look forward to being with you in about 6 weeks' time.